Picture Hades as you know him. Perhaps James Woods's fast-talking antagonist from Disney's Hercules, or the vengeful deity from Clash of the Titans, scheming against Zeus and humanity. Maybe you see him through the lens of God of War, a dark lord to be conquered, or through countless modern retellings that paint him as a brooding antihero, a misunderstood romantic figure bound to Persephone in an eternal dance of darkness and death. But these familiar portraits reveal more about our modern preconceptions than any ancient truth. Is Hades really this brooding, morose, dark king of the land of the dead? Or is he perhaps much more than that? They speak to our need to categorize, to separate light from dark, good from evil, a dichotomy born not from Greek thought, but from 2 millennia of Christian interpretation overlaying these ancient mysteries. Hades is a powerful force, intricately woven into the fabric of the cosmos. His realm, far from being a place of eternal punishment, is a realm of transformation, balance, and rebirth. The real truth about Hades, or rather, the profound mystery of his identity, was once guarded in temples like these. In Eleusis, where initiates glimpsed secrets that transformed their understanding of life and death. In sacred caves, where Orphic mystics contemplated divine unity beyond simple polarities of light and dark, upper and lower, Olympian and chthonic. Listen to the words that have survived, whispered across centuries.
Zeus is first and Zeus is last. The Lord of Lightning. Zeus is the head and center. For all things are from Zeus.
These lines from the Great Rhapsodic Hymn hold a secret that shatters our comfortable modern categories. A truth so profound that ancient Greeks considered it too sacred for casual discussion. We think we know Hades, the brother of Zeus, the stern lord of the underworld, the unseen one, the receiver of souls. But even his name reveals our distance from ancient understanding. The Greeks themselves were reluctant to speak it. As Plato tells us in his Cratylus, they preferred Pluton, the wealth giver, and more tellingly, they called him Zeus Chthonios, underground Zeus. Hades was not his name, but the place in which he resided.
His divine belly is Earth, the mother of all, with her imposing hills and mountain peaks. The belt about his middle is a wave of the deep-voiced sea and ocean. His feet, the foundation of Earth, are dank Tartaros, and Earth's furthermost limit.
This is not mere poetic metaphor. For those initiated into the deeper mysteries, this was profound theology. The underworld wasn't a separate kingdom ruled by Zeus's brother. It was part of Zeus's very being. The Lord of the Dead wasn't Hades as a distinct deity, but Zeus himself in his chthonic aspect. The philosopher Heraclitus hints at this unity when he declares, encountering the festival of the Phallophoria, in which phalli were paraded about, remarked in a surviving fragment,
If they did not order the procession in honor of the god and address the phallus song to him, this would be the most shameless behavior. But Hades is the same as Dionysos, for whom they rave and act like bacchantes.
This cryptic statement begins to illuminate a theological understanding far more sophisticated than our modern retellings suggest. One where seemingly opposed deities reveal themselves as aspects of a single divine reality. To grasp this revolutionary perspective, we must set aside our modern need for clearly defined divine personalities. We must enter the mindset of those who participated in the mysteries at Eleusis, who contemplated the Orphic teachings, who understood that the greatest truths often lie beyond simple categorization. What evidence did these mystery traditions preserve of this hidden truth? How did their understanding of divine unity challenge even the popular religion of their own time? And what happens to our familiar story of Persephone's abduction when we realize that Zeus and Hades might not be separate entities at all? The answers lie in ancient texts that tell a very different story. One that begins not with separate divine brothers dividing the cosmos, but with a single divine reality manifesting itself through multiple aspects. Homer and Hesiod tell of a dividing of lots.
For when we threw the lots, I received the grey sea as my abode. Hades drew the murky darkness. Zeus, however, drew the wide sky of brightness and clouds. The earth is common to all, and spacious Olympus.
Beyond the familiar tales of Olympian gods, there existed in ancient Greece a profound theological tradition that saw reality not as a collection of separate divine beings, but as manifestations of a single, all-encompassing divinity. This was the vision of the Orphics, whose mysteries penetrated to the very heart of existence itself.
In one divine power, emerging one divinity, the commander of the world, one regal body in which everything revolves, fire and water and earth and aether and both night and day and Mitis, the first begotten one and lovely Eros.
This was no mere poetic fancy, but a sophisticated theological framework that recognized Zeus not as merely king of the gods, but as the very fabric of reality itself. His body was the cosmos, his mind the ordering principle of existence, his breath the life force animating all beings. Though Platon does indeed appear as a character in the Orphic current, a curious thing occurs after the defeat of the Titans.
And then Zeus went to the sacred cave and asked, "Mother, supreme of all the gods, immortal Nyx, how am I to proceed? How can I inaugurate my rule with the immortal gods? How can I keep all things as one, yet separate?" And blessed Machaira Nyx, gleaming with the blue of dawn, Quanaugis, answered him saying, "Surround everything in the aether, the heavens, the earth, the sea and the stars, and bind them all with a golden ethereal chain." Thus mighty Zeus engulfed and swallowed Eurycapios, employing all of his power, and drew everything that existed into the hollow of his belly. And now all things in Zeus were created anew, the sky, the sea, the earth, and all the blessed and immortal gods and goddesses, all that was then, and all that will be, all mingled in the belly of Zeus.
What's most curious about this perspective is that once Zeus begins to create the cosmos anew, the Orphic writers lend no more mention to Platon as a separate being. He is now absorbed completely into the body and character of Zeus. Now, as the Lord of Olympus and the God of the dead, he was also the God of beginnings and endings, overseeing the transition from life to death and back again. Death, in the Orphic view, was not an end but a transition, one they called metempsychosis, a return to the earth from which all life sprang, a cycle that Zeus Chthonios governed. And Hades, the subterranean realm, was intimately connected to this cycle of death and rebirth, embodying the eternal nature of existence. The initiates of these mysteries understood that divine names, Zeus, Hades, Dionysus, were not separate entities but aspects of an ultimate unity. As preserved in our ancient sources, the Orphic theogony presents a vision of divine reality that transcends simple polytheism. Consider these words from an Orphic initiate.
Zeus is the first and Zeus is last. Zeus is the head and center, for all things are from Zeus.
This is not the language of conventional mythology, but of mystical monotheism, where all divine powers flow from a single source. What we call Hades was understood by these mystics as Zeus manifesting in his chthonic aspect. Zeus Chthonios, the Zeus of the Underworld. This wasn't merely a title, but a profound theological truth. The ruler of the dead was not a separate being, but the same divine power that ruled the heavens, viewed through a different lens. This understanding was carefully preserved in mystery traditions, passed down through generations of initiates. At Eleusis and in Orphic circles, seekers learn to see beyond the surface of myth to grasp the underlying unity of divine nature. The evidence surrounds us in surviving texts. When Heraclitus declares Hades and Dionysus are the same, he speaks from this deeper understanding. When ancient hymns address Zeus Chthonios, they acknowledge this fundamental unity. This vision challenges not only our modern assumptions, but even the public religion of ancient Greece itself. It presents a theological sophistication that rivals any modern faith, suggesting that the deepest truths about divinity transcend simple categories of polytheism and monotheism. But if Zeus and Hades were one, what does this mean for our understanding of ancient Greek religion? And more intriguingly, what does it reveal about the true nature of Persephone's famous abduction? The answer lies in one of the most shocking revelations preserved in our ancient sources. A truth about Persephone's abductor that transforms our understanding of Greek mythology itself. The mysteries of divine unity were not confined to a single text or tradition. They echo through a corpus of sacred verses known as the Orphic Hymns and Rhapsodic Theogonies. These are devotional poetry that reveal to those who listen deeply the profound truth about the relationship between Zeus and his supposed brother Hades. Consider how these ancient verses address the Lord of the Underworld.
Zeus Chthonios, scepter-bearer of the world beneath, holy lord of all that dwells in earth's dark chambers.
This is no mere poetic epithet, but a theological declaration. The ruler of the underworld is not called Hades, but Zeus of the earth's depths. The very language of the hymns dissolves the artificial boundary between heavenly and chthonic power. The evidence deepens when we examine the shared epithets, the sacred titles that bridge supposed divine divisions.
Pantocrator, all-powerful. Polyonymous, many named. Basileus, king. Scepter-bearer, ruler of all.
These terms appear in hymns to both Zeus and to the Lord of the Underworld, suggesting not two deities sharing similar powers, but one divine reality, manifesting in different aspects. Listen to how the Orphic hymn to Zeus echoes in the depths.
O king, these divine things shine through your head. The holy Mother Earth, and loud-sounding slopes of mountains, the sea, and all things, as many as the heavens array within.
While the hymn to Pluton reverberates with the same cosmic authority.
Holder of the keys of all the cosmos, guardian of life cycles, death and rebirth.
The symbolism of the keys is particularly revealing. Just as Zeus holds the keys to cosmic law, the chthonic Zeus called Pluton holds the keys to Earth's abundance. Not two separate key holders, but one divine power operating on different levels of reality. These hymns were not mere literary compositions, but ritual technologies, tools for initiates to penetrate the veils of apparent reality and glimpse the underlying unity of divine nature. Even more telling is how these hymns address Persephone, she who bridges the realms.
Daughter of Zeus, queen of those below, whose sacred form emerges from the depths to manifest spring's renewal.
But here we touch upon an even deeper mystery. For if Zeus and the Lord of the Underworld are one, what does this mean for the famous tale of Persephone's abduction? Who really took the goddess core into the depths? Within the torchlit depths of Eleusis, initiates glimpsed a truth far more profound than the simple tales told in public squares. Here, in the intersection of divine mysteries, the boundaries between Olympian and chthonic dissolved into a deeper understanding of cosmic unity. At the heart of this mystery stood a figure whose very existence challenged the neat categorizations of divine power, Zagreus, the firstborn Dionysus, whose story weaves together threads of heaven and underworld in ways that reveal the fundamental unity of divine nature. Our ancient sources tell us,
mighty cloud-gathering Zeus, with deep foreknowledge, understood that he must marry his mother Demeter. But when adequate time had passed, and life-giving Persephone was at the bloom of her youth, Zeus again became a serpent, united with her, and produced the child Zagreus, the sweet child of his father.
This is no mere mythological tale, but a profound theological revelation. The very same divine power, Zeus, who rules the heavens, appears in serpentine form in the depths, generating a child who embodies the unity of upper and lower worlds. Consider the deeper significance. Demeter, in her grief, refuses the wine offered to her. Our sources tell us this was because it would be against Themis for her to drink wine, which is the gift of Dionysus. But why? Because she knew that the Lord of the Mysteries, Dionysus Zagreus, was born from the union of Zeus with her own daughter. She knew he was to be the new Lord of the cosmos. Nonnus preserves this profound truth.
Zeus changed into Eros when destined for generation, for under Phanis there had been a golden age of men, and under Kronos there was a silver age where men had very long lives, but there would now be a new age.
The mystery traditions preserved this understanding through carefully graduated levels of initiation. At Eleusis, at the Bacchic shrines in Orphic circles, initiates learn to see beyond the public myths to grasp the underlying unity of divine power. The implications are profound. The familiar story of Persephone's abduction by Hades transforms when we understand that Zeus himself, in his chthonic aspect, was the true divine bridegroom. The supposed conflict between Olympian and underworld powers dissolves into a deeper truth about the cycles of divine manifestation. All these were seen as expressions of a single divine reality operating through different aspects and phases. As our ancient sources tell us,
Their child was revered by the Orphics as Dionysus Zagreus, Dionysus Iacchus. Zeus and Hades were essentially two representations of the same god. In seeding Persephone, Zeus/Hades/Dionysus created what the ancients called a second, a little Dionysus, a subterranean Zeus.
but if this profound unity lay at the heart of Greek mystical theology, why was it hidden? What does this revelation tell us about the nature not just of ancient Greek religion but of divine reality itself? The revelation of Zeus's all-encompassing nature opens before us not merely a historical curiosity, but a window into a profound metaphysical understanding that challenges our very conception of divine reality.
For in Zeus's mighty body these all lie. Behold his head and handsome countenance, the radiant sky. Around his golden hair are the gleaming stars twinkling beautifully.
This is no mere poetic flourish, but a carefully crafted metaphysical framework where divinity manifests through different aspects while maintaining fundamental unity. The cosmic body of Zeus becomes a living symbol of the interconnectedness of all realms of existence. When initiates learned that Zeus and Hades were one, they weren't simply receiving a theological doctrine. They were being invited to transcend the very categories that limit human understanding above and below, light and dark, life and death. All these supposed opposites resolve into a deeper unity. This is why the mysteries were inseparable from the cycles of nature. The grain descending into earth's darkness only to rise transformed, the grape crushed to become divine wine. These weren't just symbols but living demonstrations of how divine power operates through apparent opposites. This understanding transforms every aspect of Greek religion. The cosmic order becomes an expression of a single divine consciousness. The cycle of death and rebirth reveals itself as the breathing of one divine life. The apparent conflicts between gods dissolve into the drama of divine self-manifestation. This is why the mysteries required careful preparation. Such knowledge couldn't be merely intellectually apprehended, it had to be experientially realized through stages of initiation. The very structure of the mysteries mirrored the truth they conveyed. Apparent separation leading to profound unity. Heraclitus hints, the way up and the way down are one and the same. This isn't mere paradox, but a pointer to the deeper reality that the mystery traditions preserved. A reality where apparent opposites reveal themselves as aspects of a single divine truth. The implications reach beyond ancient religion to challenge our own understanding. How do we categorize a theology that is neither purely monotheistic nor polytheistic? What happens to our notion of divine conflict when apparent opponents are revealed as aspects of the same power? How might this ancient wisdom speak to our modern search for unity amid apparent division? Perhaps the most profound message of these mysteries lies not in their historical details, but in their invitation to transcend our own limited categories of understanding. What the ancient mystics preserved was not merely a theological doctrine, but a transformative insight into the nature of reality itself. In their understanding, the divine was not fragmented into opposing forces, but manifested through different aspects of a single, all-pervading consciousness. Zeus above and Zeus below were not two but one, just as the root seeking darkness and the leaf reaching for light are expressions of a single living plant. Hiding all things yet causing them to newly emerge into delightful light, he brings them forth again from his heart, acting in divine wonderment. This is the profound truth that the mysteries conveyed, that apparent opposition contains hidden unity, that descent and ascent are part of a single divine movement, that death and rebirth are phases of an eternal cosmic dance. The mystery traditions remind us that the greatest truths often lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. A descent into the underworld to be reborn. The legacy of Hades, the hidden power of the underworld, continues to shape our understanding of life, death, and the enduring cycle that binds us all. This legacy is a testament to the enduring power of myth and its relevance to our lives.